I'm taking over SwimmableShoes channel again today, and I'm going to be showing you how to build this medieval tower. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set out the base of the tower. 3 blocks on the side, and then 1, and then another 3. Looks kind of like a circle, but yeah, this is the base, and then you're going to build up from here. The next thing to do is to fill in the floor. So you want the first level of it to be completely filled in. That's going to be the floor of the tower itself once you go inside. And then also you want to fill in the inside. So you have a 3x3 square that's empty on the inside. Yeah, the basic thing that you want is fill it in like this so that there is a 3x3 square in the middle, and make sure that you fill in the entire first level. The next thing is you want to build this up. It's going to be 15 blocks tall. So you want to just build up all the sides 15 blocks tall. On the inside, you still want to have this 3x3 square empty, but then these edges on the inside, you can make those just 14 blocks tall because we would be getting rid of those anyway. So this is what your tower is going to look like in the beginning. Another thing to note is that when I was doing research for medieval towers, this is kind of what your medieval tower would look like. If you look at like really old medieval towers, they're very simplistic. They have like a couple windows here and there. Most of them are actually made out of what would be cobblestone in the game, but I just don't like cobblestone. I chose these stone bricks because I think it does look a little better. It's a little cleaner, but yeah. So the next thing you want to do is to add some details to the outside. So down here on the bottom, in the corners here, you're going to stack up 4 blocks high. All right, and so you want to do 4 blocks high, and you want to do that all the way around on these corners, and that's going to make this segment right here, instead of 3 blocks, it's going to be 5 blocks wide. And then up here at the top, you want to make this a big square. So it's going to come out, and this is going to be 7 blocks wide. And then down here on the second level, you're going to add these 2 blocks here, and this is going to make this 5 blocks wide. But that's only going to be 1 block tall. And so all the way around, it kind of adds a little bit of shape, but you'll see what else we're going to do with this in the next section. You've already made this a little bit wider, these 4 blocks tall. You're going to put some blocks out here on the base as well. So this is 3 blocks tall right here, and this is 3 blocks wide, and then 2 blocks tall. And then you're going to do that all the way around in these little extra spaces that you have, and this gives it a little bit of extra depth. It gives a little bit more of a wider base. You have a tall tower, you want to make sure that it's sturdy, so this makes it look as if it has like more shape than just being a tube. 3 blocks tall, 3 blocks wide, and then 2 blocks tall. And so from the side, the base looks like this, and then you add this right here, these 2 blocks between what you made 4 blocks tall before. Up at the top here, you've already made this square, and you've already done this little piece on the bottom, and what you're going to do is you're going to add these blocks sticking out on the side. So right here, not on the exact edge, you're going to leave this corner untouched, but on the inside, one inside, you're going to add a block sticking out, and then a block sticking out, and you're going to alternate. So every other block, you're going to place one. Same thing all the way around, and you kind of have this, like, I don't know, big hashtag symbol. The other thing, too, in the front here is you're going to want to put this, like, block wall, and it's going to attach, so, like, right here, if this was the front, it would attach right here. So 1, 2, 3, you would put that there. And it's going to come out, it's just going to stick out by 2. So 1, 2, and then you're going to place this 1, 2, 3 blocks here. And then you're going to step it down. So 2 blocks and then 1. And this kind of just acts as a little walkway. It's like a secure walkway. As you come, you step up, and then this will be the door right here. Now we're going to add even more detail, and this is where we're going to add some really cool stuff to make it the shape like come to life. First thing we're going to do here is add some details. So right here we're adding some stairs. If we take these away, right, this is just what we were looking at before, 3 blocks by 3 blocks, and then these 2 little too tall on the side. And so what we're going to do is just add some detail. You add some stairs along there, and then stairs here and stairs here. And I made these facing different directions so that it kind of has a little bit more interest. And then on this area right here, we have walls, right? So this was too tall in the previous one. So add another block here, and then add a wall right there, because right here on these ones, these were 4 tall, right? And we're going to add stairs facing this way. I mean, you can do these facing any way you want. You could do them like this, where they're facing into this corner right here. But I personally like it like this because it adds a little bit more layering and levels and a little bit more interest. It's not predictable, I guess you could say, but the walls kind of add some shape to it as well. So it looks pretty sturdy, it's solid, and it gives it like shape going up instead of just being straight up and down. And then I also, as you can probably see, added these windows here. Right here I have some walls, and these walls are going under the blocks that I put over on that side. I put these 3 blocks here, and I'm putting walls underneath these, and it just kind of gives that like turret look to a tower, a medieval tower. It looks cool, it looks imposing, but it also gives you a little bit more interest instead of just being flat. Some people put stairs here. They'll do like upside down stairs, and that's cool. You can do that if you prefer that look. I think the thing too to remember about all of this is it's kind of just whatever you prefer. Try things out, you know, mess around, go into a creative world. Like that's what I did with doing this. I looked up a bunch of inspiration, and then I went into a creative world and tried a bunch of different things. The other thing too is right here, these stairs, upside down stairs, in between these blocks. This kind of gives it a little bit of leveling, so you don't have a drastic shift from just being like blocks sticking out in empty space, blocks sticking out in empty space. You have this stair that kind of gives it some steps. Another thing I like to do that I've done in the past is I'll do right side upstairs here, and that gives it even more like beveling. You have these little like indentations. They're not super useful for anything, but it again just gives a little bit more depth. You can do that if you want to. And then on top here, so these I put full blocks. So full blocks on top in between here. And then in between these, I put slabs. And some people will do stairs on this part. So they'll come here and they'll do stairs. And that looks cool. You could take away that too. And it gives it even more like depth. It makes it a more dramatic space here if you're looking at it. I like stairs, but I don't like stairs so much with this kind of corner. So if I put this back here, right, this creates another space here, and it kind of makes it even. So it's like an on, off, and then this is an off segment. And so if you put two, let's see if I can do this, put 2 stairs right here, it just, to me, creates too much space in between. On the front here, so here I did the stairs again. So stairs on this side, and then this would have been where the stairs were if it were just one of these segments. But what I did here is I turned these stairs upside down, and it just kind of, again, gives it a little bit of a difference. This is the front entrance, so it's slightly different. I didn't want to do like too much with it, but if you look again at like some medieval or even a little bit later buildings, they kind of have this like triangular archway above the door. I thought it'd be cool to include something like that. It's simplistic, but I mean, it just makes it a little bit different. And then over here on the wall, these are stairs, and so it just makes it have like a nice slope. I tried this with doing walls on top of here and making this even longer, or making it, instead of stairs, doing slabs, so it was a much slower slope. But I didn't really like it as much. I like this. It's like compact. It does what it needs to do. And then in here, this is a slab. So I just added a slab here, and it just gives you a little bit of a stairway. So this right here is just kind of like the pole for the spiral staircase. As you're going up, you don't want to fall off. It's something just to keep you from falling off. But I didn't want it to be solid blocks because I felt like that was too restrictive, too thick. It just makes it feel claustrophobic. So I didn't do that. And then for the stairs, so I've tried a bunch of different things for the stairs. What I landed on was doing a staircase in the middle right here. And then instead of doing another staircase up like that and then over like this, or like trying to do stairs here, I just decided to do a slab. So a slab on this level so that when you go here, then you go up the stairs and then stairs and then another slab. And it makes it so that it's not such a slow incline, because I've also done it where I'll do like just slabs all the way around, and that's cool, but it's just less interesting looking. So I think the stairs mixed with the slabs makes it kind of like, oh, there's an extra space here to turn and then go up. And yeah, so I do that all the way up. And then with these windows on the inside, so this is where I had blocks here, right? So I had you fill in the blocks here all the way around. And maybe you're thinking, why would I do that if I'm just going to empty them out again? The reason I did that was because it allows you to have something to stick your stairs to, right? So I hate I don't know if you have this too. I hate trying to do spiral staircases in a space that's not square. Doing it square like this makes it really easy, but trying to do spiral staircases where, like here, this wall, right, is the extra wall, but trying to do a spiral staircase that comes all the way into the wall here and then bypasses this, because this goes outside, right? Because I made this a circle, you would have to come here and then like angle up here. It just looks messy. I don't like it. So I wanted to do it just a square spiral staircase, but you can start to dig out these areas where you have your window. And so you can come up the stairs, and then here's a little platform for you to stand, and you can shoot arrows or whatever. The other thing about the windows is that I did small windows, so 1 block high, and then also 2 blocks high. I did this, again, to give a little bit of a difference, so it's not just tiny windows all the way up, or it's not just big windows all the way up. These windows here, you'll see on the outside, I did with stairs. So if you take stairs like this, like that, you get these little tiny windows that you can shoot arrows from. This is another design you can do, but you don't have to. Again, whatever you want, whatever looks good to you. So you come all the way up here, and then I wanted this to be covered. So I couldn't do stairs all the way to the top because it's weird doing stairs all the way to the top. You can't cover everything completely. So I did a ladder here, and then ladder, you come up, and here you go. You can guard your tower. So these windows right here, these little tiny windows, this is what they look like from the outside. It just, again, gives a little bit more interest. And then I kind of alternated it with these little square windows and then the 2 block tall window. As you're going up the stairs, your windows should be placed in a position that makes sense. If you come down here, there's a little window. Come up to this place, there's a window. Same here. And so your windows, aside from being placed properly, it'll give you a little bit of a difference on the outside. So your windows won't just look the same all around. This one has the 2 block tall window and then the 1 block tall window underneath it, and then this one has the 2 block tall window at the bottom and then these little windows at the top. So it makes it just look more interesting and different instead of just being uniform. Now we get to the final product, the tower. And it looks like there's so much that happened from this tower over here to this one right here. And that's kind of true, but also everything is set up. Like, you've already done the outline of the tower. It looks a lot different, but it's not really that different. So the reason I built the tower up in the same block in these other versions over here is because it's just easier to get the shape done. It's easier to get it down. And then you go in later and in these areas add different types of blocks. So I added in some just regular stone or some cracked stone bricks or mossy stone bricks. I also added, like right here, upside down stairs over the windows because it just gives it, again, a little bit more interest. You can not do that if you don't want to. If you don't want these right here, great, you don't have to do that. And the one I just took away was, I think, andesite. You can use different blocks. I didn't really use any cobblestone in this one. I don't love cobblestone. I think it is useful for things, but again, I just wanted this one to look a little newer. There are some cracks here and there, but I didn't go overboard. I didn't want to go crazy with the different types of blocks that I would use. And so on the bottom here, again, most of it just stays this stone brick with a little, a few little things here and there. Something that I've learned too when building is that when I'm building in creative mode like this, it's easy just to build something out of the same block type and then go back later and change out those blocks. You can be a little bit more loose with how you do it. You can build everything in the same block, go through, you can float around, change out blocks, change your mind, change blocks back later, be like real precise about where you place things. But when you're in survival mode, I found that building something out of one type of block and then going back later and changing it is a lot more difficult. So I would say if you want to mess around and get something settled for your survival world in creative mode, you can do it like this. But then once you go into survival mode, then I would say start out with the type of blocks that you want. So if I'm going to use mossy stone, cracked stone, bricks, I'm going to use just regular stone as well as regular stone bricks and stairs. Make sure you have all those things ready to go and in enough quantities so that when you go to build it, you just build it up with those bricks or with those blocks as you want to. It's much, much harder, especially as your builds get really big, to go back later and change those things out. End of announcement. So the other thing that I did was put these little fences inside the windows. It just looks medievalish, fantasy-ish. I put these trap doors here, and that's like a shutter for these windows. And then this one doesn't have a shutter, but then I have shutters on these little doors, and you can go from the inside and then raise this up and shoot out your arrows or whatever. It looks like a little cannonball port on a pirate ship or whatever. And you can change this. You can make it so that this is closed or leave it open or whatever you want to do. On the little windows too, I didn't actually put any sort of fencing or anything like that. I figured if you have a window like this, maybe the fencing provides protection because it's a big window, but you don't need that here because you would have your trapdoor. In the front window here, I did something a little different, and I tried doing this all the way around the entire build on the two tall windows, but I didn't really like it that much. It just seemed like too much. But on the front here, I think it's cool. It's the front of the tower. So I did these stairs, and these stairs basically upside down stairs, and then I'll go this way. So upside down stairs, and then upside down facing that way, and then it creates this cool little ledge on the outside of your window. These right here are walls, and so you build those up, and then on the top here the stairs go the opposite direction, so face this way and then face this way and then face that way. And so you get this cool little awning thing over your window, and there you go. You have a little windowsill thing. And then I still did these trap doors, but because of the walls, they only open so far, and so I made those slightly open. And again, it just gives you a different thing to work with. So the final thing that I needed to do was just add a few little things on the outside of the tower. So I put some barrels around the tower, and that's just supplies, right? You go to a tower if you're playing a fantasy game or role-playing game or whatever. You go to a tower or a little castle or something, and there's barrels with stuff inside that you can get. I didn't put anything inside, but they're there. And then bushes, these little like leaves I put as like bushes that have grown up over time, a little like thing right here. And then wheat, I put like little bales of wheat. Again, it's just a little thing like, hey, like there's some wheat that they can use for food. It again just gives it a little bit of a difference. You're using different blocks instead of it all being gray. I took some stone slabs and some like blocks and I put them in the ground, right? Because it may not just all be dirt, there's rocks and things. And so this again gives it a little bit of shape. And then I also placed like grass and these ferns and tall grass and then trees. These trees, I literally just planted them and just let them grow. This I bone mealed the grass and those grew. I left this because it's like a tree stump. They chop down the tree, but when you chop down trees in real life, it leaves a stump unless you can remove it with something heavy. So there's that, and then there's a stump over here with some kind of roots sticking out. But again, it just adds a little bit more interest into the build. It looks much better than it did. And I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't like build anything that was massive. There's nothing here that has like crazy details. It's just little things here and there. And so it looks like a cool medieval tower. Also added torches for some lighting on the outside. And then on the inside, I added, there's a door too. You could put a door. You don't have to, but whatever. Inside there's like a barrel and then this like wood slab. It serves no purpose, but it just looks better than being empty. And then here there wasn't a window, and so I just put a couple barrels and then a lantern. Cool, there's a place for some supplies. I put lanterns above the windows, and you know, it just makes sure that you have lighting inside. This is nothing, it's just a little block of wood, but again, it adds something so that it's not just plain in here. And then on the top, these lanterns all the way around. I also wanted to make sure that it looked cool during night, so I added these torches around. I added the lanterns up at the top and then the lanterns inside, and you can kind of see them from different angles, but it just makes it look lit up. If you're wandering at night in like a medieval area that doesn't have a ton of lighting, you're going to want to find something like this that's lit up. It looks cool. It's welcoming. So this is the build. It's pretty simple. It doesn't look drastically different from other things that are out there, but it's a nice, easy way to do a tower. It's not super complex. There's just a few things that you can do to make it look a little bit more interesting. And when you place this among a city that has other things going on, it's going to look really cool. The thing about all this stuff is to make your own build. Start with what I've done and then make it your own. Try different things. It's not, just about copying exactly what I've done. The amazing thing about Minecraft is the creativity that people have. And so take this and do something crazy with it. Add so much more to it. If you want it to look really destroyed and you want it to look like it's been sitting for 1,000 years with nobody using it or keeping it up, then make it look that way. That's what you can do. So thank you everyone for watching today. We'll see you next time. Bye.